1,100 seminars over 40 years. You've worked with some of the biggest names, the Cosgroves and Parisi and Frank Nash and all those guys. Who is somebody like when you first met them, you're like, this person's not going to make it. And then they turn into a rock star.
Present clients or past?
Either or.
One of each?
Yeah.
I'll give you one of each. Past clients, Schwarzenegger.
Oh, really?
I sat next to him at World Gym started. Arnold was part of the group because of Joe Gold. The first workshop they ever had, they had 11 owners show up, and I was their only business guy for 11 years. So they had the kids table, which was, the 11 gym owners in crazy wear pants, bow tie, suspenders, this in a really nice restaurant. It was really bizarre. And then I'm sitting next to Arnold before he did Conan, so he barely could speak English. He was drinking champagne out of a bottle, flirting with all the waitresses, and I said, "So what's the dream? What are you going to do?" And he goes, "I'm going to be big in Hollywood." And he couldn't, there was hardly any English and stuff like that. So I'm just looking at him going, "He's going to have a long, hard row to do this." And he just was. He turned out he was just obviously it worked out for him. But
that's amazing.
But he was one of those guys where you looked and you just kind of. But the more he talked, the more you saw the intensity, and the more you saw the belief past the showmanship. And obviously he was a large man in those days. So that, and then current generations, there's all kinds of guys in that cast. Everybody kind of knows Frank that follows that. Frank called me every day for 3 years and didn't do anything, refused to change, but he'd call every month for 3 solid years, never missed a call and didn't change nothing. And when he was going to lose his gym is when he wanted to change. Cosgrove, same thing. They had a hard decision. Everybody comes to that point where you go left or you go right. And that's the defining factor. The Cosgroves, they were doing one-on-one. It wasn't working. They were not effective. Rachel showed up in the workshop. They didn't even have enough money for both Cosgroves to show up. Back in the day, I did something out in Palm Desert, and I was talking to her. Then I met Alan, and they decided to go right. They could have gone left and kept doing, and they decided to reinvent themselves. So everybody, you make that decision at some point. It's like a switch. It's really an obvious switch. But Frank was that one guy that's just like, will he ever get this? Is he ever going to change? And he's become like a son over the years, and love the guy to death. But there was also for 3 years I could have beat him to death with a kettlebell.
Then he really was a son then.